Okay, so I'm going to show you how to drain the upper arm when, after say a mastectomy, where the breast has been removed and normally the lymph nodes will be removed, and that is why there'll be swelling in the upper limb. Okay, so what I want to go through with this so you know what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay, now I would emphasize that this is not to be done instead of getting treatments. You want to be getting treatment to be under the guidance of a fully qualified lymphatic drainage specialist that knows all about decongestive therapy, doctor, and so on and so forth. But I'll show you how to do this like when you're at home and what you can do to help, by all means, remove the fluid from your upper limb and arm and fingers. All right, so I'm going to teach you two different techniques. One's called stationary circles, and the other one is called basically a pump, okay? And they're very simple. Now, there are a few things that you need to know. The pressure is very light on the lymphatic system because we are going to stimulate the flow of lymphatic fluid. And by doing that, the way we do that is to apply a stretch to the skin, and that initiates lymph flow to start draining the lymph more quickly, up to 20 times more quickly than the body can do. Okay, so you'll see this dot I've got on my arm here. Now, so the stationary circles is what you're going to do. You're going to, it's just, now remember, it's not gripping, it's only the weight of your hand on your skin. And what we're going to do, we're going to stretch and then come back. So it's going stretch and then just relax on the way back. We're not pulling back down, we are literally just stretching up. And you see, if you see you've got a dot there on my arm, you'll see that starts to move and down. So this is called stationary circles. So we're going sort of almost a little arc as we go up. Now it's not gripping, just the weight of your hand. If you're too heavy, you're going to squash the lymphatic vessels. Okay? So go up and back. And it's slow. So the whole thing should take about a couple of seconds. Up and back, because that's the way the lymphatic system works. It's nice and slow. It's viscous, the lymph, so it's thick. So we'll do about 5 to 7 repetitions of that. And then you'll move on to the next part. Okay, so if you need to put a dot or you've got a freckle, you can see what's going on there. You want to see that moving up or down, then you know you're on the right track. The other way is using a pump, and again, it's not squeezing. It's just very light, so it gives us this position here, and you are going up and relax. So you can use either of these as we go through. Just remember not to grip hard. There's no grip, it's just you are literally just letting the hand sort of relax on the skin. And we're not sliding up and down the skin, okay? You are not sliding at all. So if you're sliding over the skin, you're gliding over it, that's not correct. Because you want to get that stretch, and that's what gets the lymph fluid moving. Okay, so let's go through the sequence. Now, if this is your affected side, so this is the side where you're getting the swelling from, say, mastectomy, well, we're going to move, because there's a lack of lymph nodes, we're going to move the lymph and really work there. So we're going to get that fluid to drain into these nodes, and your nodes that I teach you about, the inguinal nodes. Because the nodes are like drains, and so we're going to open up these drains to get the fluid out. All right? So we're going to do a couple of things. So first and foremost, this is called the terminus. This area here, this is where the lymphatic fluid goes back into the body, into the circulatory system. So what we're going to do, you're going to have soft hands, no tension in the fingers, soft hands, and we're going to put it over here. So you've got this sort of hollow here. Just put it here, and you're going to go, remember, nice light pressure. You're going to pull the skin towards your neck, and then down towards your collarbone here. So we'll do that, again, 5 to 7 times every time. So across and down. So you're stretching down, and then relax. Across and down. So this is enabling the lymph. Just remember your pressure must be light. Just the weight of your hand, stretching down. I'll just do 5. That's how you do 5 or 7 of these. And then you do the opposite side. So this, so come in towards your neck, and then down, stretching down, and then return. Nothing should be painful as you feel that through there. Nice and slow. Make sure you're not gliding over the skin. So towards the neck and down. Now once you are proficient at doing this, you can use both hands up under here, up under here. And it's best to do this on your skin as opposed to over clothing, because you want to get that skin to stretch. So you can get them like that, and you can do them both in and down to save yourself time. Okay, so in and down, and you could do that 3 to 5 times. All right, now so that's nice and light. Now, but what we're going to do now is work the deep abdominal lymphatic nodes. All right, so what we do now is we're going to stimulate the deep abdominal lymphatic nodes. Now, where I said to you the rest of this will be light, this is actually deeper because these are deep in, and we're going to get them stimulated in a couple of sections around here. Now, I'll come back. So you've got your rib cage here, and then you can feel the tops of your hips here. We're working around this belly area here. Now the first one, your first position, is just, now if you've got a bit of a weaker arm, you can use one on top of the other, like this. So we're directing these just above, like between your breastbone and your navel, okay? So about there in the midpoint, that's kind of where we're directing everything in our movement. So what you do, just underneath your rib cage, put your hand here, and you can use this as a guide, and we're going to push quite, you see that? Keep your stomach, so it's kind of this motion as we're pushing it through, so down and across, to deep in. Again, nothing painful. So do 5 to 7 of those. Okay. And now we're going to do a scooping motion to the same area, directly the same area, but just above the bone here at the front of your hip here, and your ilium. So come down, and then we're going to sort of scoop like that. And again, just that gentle rhythmic motion. I'll do 5 there. The opposite side, hand down, and again we're scooping towards here, we're scooping up like that. So once again, okay, 5 to 7 of those, and then finally we're going to take it across into this, just the opposite we did here, as we move it, and that scooping feeling. As we stimulate all, try and keep your stomach nice and soft. And finally, we're going to stimulate here, and this is a combination of these two, so it's like that. So pushing that way, pushing that way. So we did this here, so we're going to push with the heel, that way. So you're pushing direction at the midline there. Again, I'm between the breastbone here and the navel. Okay, so that's going to stimulate all of these deep lymphatic nodes through here. Okay, so once you've done that, we're going to do some deep breathing, some abdominal breathing. So the first one, I want you to put your hands here. I want you to breathe in through your nose, and what we're going to do, we're going to breathe in through your nose, okay, and then breathe out through your mouth and push in. Now, before you inhale again, I want you to take it across to this spot with some pressure and breathe in. And then breathe out, press in. Moving down. So before you finish the out breath, you move it across, breathe in, breathe out, pressing in, move it across to this side, breathe in, breathe out, press in, okay, so what we were doing, we were there, around the face of the clock, if you like, 12, 3, 6, 9, okay, as we did before, all right? So that you're doing that, so you're breathing in, and then you breathe out and you press in, and before you breathe in again, you've moved to that next spot with some gentle pressure, and hold that as you breathe in, and then press in as you breathe out. Now that's stimulating deep lymphatics. The lymphatic nodes in the abdominal area. All right, now come forward for you again. Okay, so now once we've cleared this area, open up the drains if you will, open up the drains here, and now what we're going to do, so this is your affected side, we're going to open up the drains in the axilla because you've got major lymph nodes here. So, stationary circles, you're just going to go into your armpit and you're just going to work 5 to 7 of these. You can even go down a little bit further and stretch it up towards the armpit. So you're always working towards the center of towards the center of the armpit. You can come out here further. With the pump technique going towards the armpit. So we're draining it into the armpit, creating space. Okay. Remember, it's not gripping. So once you've done that, remember this is the affected side, which has very few, if any, lymph nodes. So we're going to bring all of this fluid to here, and also we're going to direct it down to our inguinal ligaments, which I'll get to in a minute. So we're going to drain it down here, drain it across here. Okay, so once we've cleared that, then what you can do is we're going to work it in the direction here. So we're getting the lymph moving into the drain, which is the axilla nodes. So you could just do stationary circles. Remember to keep your pressure nice and light so we're not squashing the lymphatic vessels. So you just keep working all across. Now, it'd be more comfortable if I don't have an arm on this chair, but you don't want to be holding it up like I am the whole time. So you can work down and work up through here. So we're clearing out this whole area. So you can repeat this several times. Okay? But that's what you're trying to do, direct it in through here. Now, there's like a transitional area here. So what we're going to do, once we've cleared all that out, then you can get across to your breastbone. And again, you're stretching all towards this right side. If that's the affected side that doesn't have the lymph nodes, then we're going to draw the lymph across this way. So that means the direction of our stretch and relax is going to be this way, towards our right side. Okay, so you continue to do that. And you can come back and do some more work to clear in through the axilla again. Okay, so you would continue to do that. So you start off at the axilla, working in there, clear that area, open up that drain if you will, and then you're going to work through to push the lymph, in other words, stretch the skin towards that right armpit, the axilla. Okay, and you work across, right across through here. And you'll keep doing it. So this whole area is we're pushing the lymph all the way across here. You can go up the rib cage as well. Okay, so that's what you're going to do to clear this side. All right, so we've activated here, we've opened up these drains, worked the deep lymphatic in the stomach, abdominal area, and now we've cleared this side. All right, so once you've done that, then what we're going to do, we're going to start directing the fluid from here down into the inguinal ligament. Now, or inguinal nodes, I beg your pardon, where the inguinal ligament is. I'll stand up for this to show you. It's where sort of your body and your hip, where you feel that junction, if you like. I'll show you. So it is, you got that front of the hip bone there. It's right there, sort of on your sort of underpant line or panty line. And what you're going to do, it's going to be a scooping method as well. So the same thing, we're going to be right on here and doing that, working up towards the midline again. So it's right on that junction where you'd feel with the leg, the front of the hip there. 5 of those. Okay, now we want to get moving that, because we've cleared those nodes now, we've opened up those drains, and now you want to do the side, not so much your stomach, so you want to now direct it downwards, so working down towards those nodes that you've just cleared. And you could do 3 aspects as you go along, go a little bit higher up, and so on and so forth. And you could repeat that again if you've got time, depending on the amount of time you've got. So, cleared here first, stomach area, breathing, cleared this, got the lymph there. Now we're clearing this down here, because of course, we just don't have the adequate lymph nodes. That's why the fluid's getting there. So we're going to take it somewhere else to the other lymph nodes. Right, so now we can actually work on the affected arm. Okay, so what we're going to do, we can work it up into the clavicular area, up into these nodes, or we can work it across more again. So what you want to do, we just remember our stationary circles. So you can get up here, work these. You can come up on top here. I start to direct them down here again. You see that? Working all that area through there. And you keep working your way down the arm. So, more than likely there's still a few lymph nodes left, but what we're going to do is direct it here to get it up here, so we can bring it up and down through here. So, from here, we're going in that direction to take that fluid out of there, across here, and then we'll push it up through here. So this, as we take it up through there, and really try and keep no tension in your hands. Keep your pressure light. So once we've done that, once again, we can work it up through here. And you can do that a couple of times as well. Now, quite often around these, in these little hollows around the elbow, here's your elbow here, they can get pretty fluidy, so you can work with your fingertips to stretch up as well, to start releasing that fluid in through there. In through those, you'll feel those hollows, so those little gutters. So do that. Now, on the inside of the elbow here, on the forearm, you've got cubital, called cubital fossa. This is, there's lymph nodes in here. So, just get on top of that and stimulate that lymph node, get that producing. Five, 7 times, and then we'll work our way down the forearm. So same thing, you could use stationary circles. If you prefer to use this pump technique, as long as you're not grabbing hold. So you just work all the way down, both sides, all the way up, going this way, of course, in that same direction. Now, if your hand's particularly swollen, you want to include this, of course. Now, a couple of ways you can do this. Stationary circles, top of your hand like that. Or you can get in, one way might be more effective than the other for you. In between the bones here of your fingers, and direct your stretch that way, in between each of those. Remember to keep your pressure light. Keep that rhythm. And you'd work your way down. And now, if you've got a particular part of the body that's, or like say the hand's more swollen, do more repetitions on it once you've cleared everything. And say with the fingers, you can use technique like this. Just stretch it up. Go down to the next digit. As you'll work your fingers. You can go along the sides of your fingers, again if you've got particularly swollen fingers, and you just repeat that all the way through there. Okay, so that's what you can do to say, depending on how much time you've got. You can do this just in your home watching TV. So just to remind you, we cleared out this neck area first, remember, which opens up the gates where the lymphatic system goes back into the circulatory system. We do that one at a time. So in and down, in and down. We do them both down. So once we did that, we did the abdominal area, and we pulled across, and then scooped this left-hand side, scooped this right-hand side, pulled across, and then we did them right at the center point between the navel and the bottom of the breastbone. Okay. Then we did breathing out and pressing in. And before you take your next inhalation, we go to that next spot. So we just recreated those spots that we did before, but with breathing, stimulates the deep abdominal lymphatic ducts. Then we cleared out the unaffected armpit nodes, axilla nodes, as they're known. Did that, and then we worked all the area to stimulate towards that side, and then when we cleared the inguinal ligament, okay, directed that down through there to get the lymph moving down. So we're moving the lymph down that way into those lymph nodes, and across this way into that node, and to a point into these ones as well. And then after we've done that, only then can we then remove, because we've created space, we've got the lymph moving, so now there's room for that lymphatic fluid to go into it because we've moved it all across. And then you work it up all the way on the affected limb. Okay, so that's how you do it. And so, as I said to you before, this is not something to do instead of, this you should do alongside with your lymphatic drainage specialist, your doctor, and so on and so forth. But that's how you do it for the upper arm extremity, so that you know how to do that at home.